What was it like stepping on the field and stepping on that pitching mound and pitching for the New York Yankees?
The craziest thing is going through the process. The first time I stepped on Yankee Field in the old stadium I was going to get my passport so I could get to Toronto to make my debut. So I wasn't even pitching. And I walked through and it was like, growing up, we got to watch the Braves every day. So as a baseball fan, like, you understand what they did. And as a baseball fan, you're a Yankees fan just because I loved baseball. My dad taught me to write books since I was 3 years old. Old school book. Get it, write it down, do it. It was weird because the first time that I actually stepped foot on it, and I was just like, holy cow, I am in Yankee Stadium. I wasn't even in the big leagues yet. I was just getting my passport to hopefully get to the big leagues and see what happens. So it was surreal with Phil and Ian and myself. Everybody had their different involvement of what it was. But when I walked out of that cobblestone and those doors opened, there's absolutely nothing like it. The history, and to be fortunate enough to play and win a World Series the next year, there's nothing that I can even gravitate to other than becoming a father. That is the coolest thing that I've ever done.
So two of your former teammates had a little bit of a beef this offseason, Doug Mientkiewicz and A-Rod. What were your thoughts on that whole situation, and what were they like as teammates?
Rod has been great. He bought me my first ever suits that I still own to this day. Never owned a suit. When I got called up, he sent me, and I got 2 suits, and I still own them today. 2 Calvin Kleins. I still got them. Mientkiewicz, I faced him in Pittsburgh, and then he came in. And I'll never forget, we were in the playoffs. A cameraman got in the way, and he fell over him, and he thought he was ACL out. And I was like, you just ruined this. And I'm like, come on, man. You have a name, but at the same time, it's like people go at certain people for certain things. And I'm like, you're just trying to make a name for yourself at this point. Like just quit. I was listening to it, and I'm like, this makes 0 sense, because now Rod has put his name into this world of what we're doing. Nobody knows who the hell Doug Mientkiewicz is at this point. Nobody cares.
He was a good baseball player, but not great. A-Rod was one of the greatest to ever play. I've always liked A-Rod. I met Alex Rodriguez. We had a very good football conversation. It was never about baseball. It was all about quarterbacking and college football. There was not one conversation about baseball. We are talking to former Yankees pitcher Joba Chamberlain with the Yankees. There's a lot of questions, and I'm not blaming anybody.
You can blame Cashman.
Yeah, I'm going to blame Brian Cashman.
I can say whatever I want to say at this point, and he just signed an extension. Don't understand it.
There was a lot of questions on why the Yankees decided to move you in the starting rotation. I believed you were the future closer for the New York Yankees when Mariano Rivera would retire. You were the guy. I believed you were going to be the shutdown closer for the next 10, 15 years. With the Joba rules Brian Cashman did, ruined you. It hurt you. It hurt your growth. It hurt everything about what you stood for and who you were as a relief pitcher / starting pitcher. What were your thoughts when all these things were coming out and everything started to happen and started tearing down from your career with the Yankees?
Well, mind you, I still played 11 years.
With the Yankees.
I got the greatest opportunity to do things that nobody has ever done in Yankees history. I spent 2.5 months in the minor leagues, and that was it. And then came up and did the things that I did. I would have folded towels if I got to the big league. I would have done that. I don't care. The one thing that I go back at, and I didn't have enough leverage at that point to be able to say, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to pitch. I want to help this team win. I want to be a part of it. Now, looking back, I didn't have that opportunity. The one thing I wish they would just have done was the consistency. Either say you're going to start or you're going to relieve, and then leave it be. There was 5 times during spring training where I went back and forth. And it's just hard to do. Like, this game is hard enough. It's hard enough when you have the consistency to do what it is. I never had that opportunity. I'll give a story. We were in Baltimore. I started in spring training, then they moved me to the bullpen, and then they wanted me to start again. Game's on the line. I go out, get an out in the 7th, go out in the 8th, get out of the inning, and they wanted me to build my pitch count. They literally told me to wait. I ran to the bullpen after the game, after Mo closed, to get more pitches in. I wish there would have been consistency, because look at Phil Hughes. They let Phil Hughes do it because they moved him back to the bullpen too. But he had a 4+ ERA, but they let him start every 5 days. They never let me do that. And he was an all-star. Actually, he lost the all-star game that year. You got to do that. And I wish there was more consistency of just telling me what I was going to do.